How's it going, guys? So I'm about to pack my gear for the 2018 Biker Bits Dual Sport Ramble. I'm tagging along as sweep rider. I think all up we've got about 13 guys. It's just an overnight thing around Bendigo camp at Melville's Caves. Yeah, so I'm starting to pack. And I just thought I'd lay out everything. I hope this is going to work with this camera. This is just an action cam, so I can't really see what I'm actually filming here, but whatever. So I thought I would lay out everything that I generally pack. Now, this is, if I was going away anywhere, this is everything I'd take. With the exception, that's my winter sleeping bag. In here somewhere I have my warmer weather sleeping bag, which this is actually meant to be a pretty warm sleeping bag, but it's not quite enough for me. Yeah, this is everything, and I'll just go through it, and then I'll show you what I'm going to take out for this trip. Okay, so we've got the warm sleeping bag. I can't sleep with the sleeping bag done up. I have to use it as a doona, pretty much, or a quilt or whatever. I think if I was to do it up properly, that one would be fine. That sleeping bag in there, it would be warm enough. But like I said, I just cannot sleep with it done up. I think as I'm a big guy, it just doesn't work for me. I've got 2 pillows. Now, the reason why I have 2 pillows is because I have, at times, dodgy shoulders, and I find that hugging a pillow while I sleep actually relieves the tension on my shoulders and helps me get to sleep. A blanket, if I'm like really, really cold, I'll put the blanket over me and then the sleeping bag, but generally I just use that over the top of my sleeping mat, which just makes it feel a bit more comfortable. So I just use that as a bottom sheet. What else do I have? I've got tent pegs, tent poles. I have my tent. I have my camp chair. I have spare gloves. I always take spare gloves. Always spare gotcha straps. I always have a couple of hockey straps, coffee, that's just a cup of soup, spare spoon. This is my entire cooking setup. So the jet boil, I've got a collapsible cup on top and a plastic spoon. That's everything I need. That's the new gas canister. I've got to put that in there. The spare front tube. Worst case scenario, I can stick it in the back as well. Tyre irons. And my actual toolkit and everything is on the bike under the seat, so I'm not going to show you that. 4 litre water bladder. This is food for one day. 1 24-hour period. This is what for me. Always a bottle of Pepsi. I'm a bit addicted to that. If I was going for multiple days, I wouldn't. I might take one of these. Or I might, every time I get to a servo, buy a smaller bottle. But that's a kind of luxury item there. But food-wise, that all there is 3,300 calories, all up. So there's 3 meals. And what I do is I add beef mince to those meals to just make them more. That tends to work pretty well. So that'll usually do me 2 meals. So what I do is I put half in a beef and pasta hot pot at night, then half in a cooked breakfast in the morning. And to add a bit more flavour, that's what I use a cup of soup for. And then nut bars. They're pretty dense, calorie dense. But that's only 3,300 calories. And for me, that's about what I need for an average active day. So if I was travelling for more days, I wouldn't take I would take more calorie dense food like nuts and things like that to substitute, because these do take up a lot of room. So what else have I got here? I've got headlamps. I usually take two, I don't know why. I usually have one in my camelback and one packed in my bag. That's my first aid kit. It's really basic. It's just it's some painkillers, it's some hay fever tablets, because I get hay fever. There's some band-aids. That's about it. Anything else, well, I'm screwed. Whatever. Yeah, if I break an arm, if I get to cut my arm, I'm going to have some clothes to wrap it up with. That's just to take the pain away. Power bank, batteries for the camera. I put my phone into a waterproof phone case. Hot hands, because we're in winter at the moment. These are fantastic. I just take some of these. My Leatherman, some spare batteries for... What are the spare batteries for? Oh, for my spot tracker. A couple of lighters. Some cables. 2 lots of toilet paper. I usually have 1 lot of toilet paper in my a big pack, and then I have a small, like an emergency backup toilet paper in my my camelback. Just because, if I'm out on the trail during the day, I need to take a dump, or blow my nose for that matter, I've got some in there. I always take a waterproof bag. That actually, because my tank bag isn't waterproof, so I usually put my electrical stuff in there, like my phone, my wallet, batteries for the camera stuff. I just chuck it in this small waterproof bag. Some duct tape. So luggage wise, I've got the Giant Loop Great Basin. I think that's maximum of 65 litres, I believe, and then the Giant Loop Rogue bag, which is 17 litres. So what you're going to get there is about 80 litres, say, maximum capacity. I always like to have some left over. Obviously I don't have clothes yet, they've got to go in as well. And my camelback. These are the dry pods for this stuff. That's it. That's what I take. Okay, what I did forget was the this water purification system here, filtration system. I take that as well. I've never needed one to use one. I mean, look, I think people get a bit funny about water. If it's if it's clean, if it looks all right, you got a mountain stream, it's going to be okay. That would be if it's particularly nasty water. I've never had any issues with water. What else? Okay, so this is the stuff I'm not going to take. So this is on the Dual Sport Ramble. We've got a support vehicle. Everything's catered for, supposedly. I think Mark's got everything. I'm not sure what Mark's doing for breakfast. I need a cooked breakfast. I need something warm, something protein, something substantial for breakfast. I'm not sure what he's got planned for breakfast, whether it's just going to be, toast and cereal or what. So I'm probably going to take all my food anyway. I do eat a lot of food. That's bare minimum. That's 3,300 calories. That's bare minimum for me on an active day. I'm 122 kilo. And I'm not sloppy fat or anything. I'm pretty muscular. So that is bare minimum for me. So I'm probably going to take it anyway. I'll probably take all that food anyway. What I'm not going to take is a camp chair. I'm not going to take water. The only water I will take will be 3 litres in my camelback. What else am I not going to take? Yeah, I'll take everything else. Just because it's what I would normally do anyway. Got rid of a couple of the bulkier items. Yeah, so that's it. I might show you guys how I load all this stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so for the Camelback, we'll get that stuff out of the way first. First aid goes in the Camelback. 1 lot of hot hands goes in the Camelback. Batteries, Camelback. Spot tracker goes on the Camelback. Leatherman, Camelback. One lighter, Camelback. Toilet paper. 1 headlamp, Camelback. That's the Camelback. Now for the Rogue, Giant Loop Rogue bag. That will take the sleeping bag, blanket, and pillows. And what I also put in there is tent poles. If I've got more room in there, which I think I will, I should have a little bit more room in there, I'll put some clothes in there as well, because that's 100% dry. Can have total confidence that's going to stay dry in there, and I want that stuff dry. As for the rest of it, it's all going to go. Okay, so tank bag. What have I got in my tank bag? Batteries, phone thing, hot hands. It's winter, but even here in winter, you can still get bloody mosquitoes. So I'll probably take that in there as well. A lighter, cables for charging, and that. That could just go with that crap. That can go with that crap too. So that all goes in my tank bag. The rest of it, I've got 2 of these pod bags, which these go on each side of the Giant Loop bag, and basically on one side I will have tent and sleeping mat and maybe a few little bits and pieces, and on the other side I'll have food, cooking, Pepsi, that, and then in the middle section I'll have my clothes and stuff like that. And I think that's about it. Spare pair of shoes, I haven't actually included that here. There'll be a pair of shoes, just lightweight shoes to use around the campsite. Now that I've got the bigger luggage, because I used to only use the, I don't know if you can see that, the light's okay. I used to use the Giant Loop Coyote bag, which is actually substantially smaller than the Great Basin. With that extra bit of room, I can take things like shoes and maybe a few more clothes, pieces of clothing, just for extra comfort. Excellent. Okay guys, so with all of what I had out here, it's now all in here. So clothes wise, I've got tracksuit pants there. I've got in here, that's of course all my sleeping bag, blanket and everything. I've also got thermals, beanie, socks and jocks, and a t-shirt. This is my tent and sleeping mat in here. This is all my food and bits and pieces, everything else, tube, all that sort of stuff. Obviously my Camelback, haven't filled that up yet. Shoes, tire irons will just go in somewhere. Pepsi, and I'm going to have heaps of room left over. So it all packs down pretty small. I'm guessing I've probably got about 50 litres maybe of gear in all of that, excluding the Camelback, and probably about 12 kilo, excluding that Pepsi bottle, probably about 12 kilo of weight, maybe 14 kilo. if that. Yeah, it's not much, and it's all going on the mighty KDM 1090. Cool. See you guys. Actually, I'll show you this. This is the Giant Loop Rogue bag here. I'll show you in the light. Go light, go fast, go far. Yeah, I've had this for 3-4 years. It's had a lot of use. You can see it's starting to it's ripped through the first layer there. It's looking a bit second-hand now, but it's done me really well. Still completely waterproof. This is probably the last trip it's going to do, I reckon, before I hand it down to a mate of mine. I'm going to get the Giant Loop, just come out with a new version of this. It's it's the same thing. It just looks better, and it's got more clips and shit on it. But yeah, time for an upgrade. So I will be replacing this very soon. And look, it's because it's so tough. I mean, that is chockers full. I mean, that's so much stuff fits in there. It's only 17 litres, but you cram that in. It's great for packing. So really happy with that. Dry pods, not so much. Giant Loop, get your shit together. Dry pods, they suck. Okay guys, we'll see if this will work on that angle. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to put the pods in here. So, the trick with these things is to undo the valve, squeeze the crap out of them, give yourself a bit of a pointy end, and slide them in. Now in summer, I'd probably just I'd forget about the pods, I'd just pack it straight in the bag. You can fit a whole lot more in when you do that, I think. But it's going to be shitty weather, it's probably going to rain Saturday, so best to just use that extra waterproof layer. They are meant to be waterproof, they're not really. I'd call them water resistant. I wouldn't throw this in a river. Whereas the Rogue bag, I'd just chuck that in a river, let it float, and I'd be confident that it wouldn't leak. These things, not so much. Squeeze it, seal off the valve, because they will suck in air. Those valves will suck in air. When left. Yeah, so the two pods are in. I'll come and show you. You may not be able to see it. Still got heaps of room. There's little gaps down the bottom there. You can't do much about that. As I said, if I was packing this in summer, I wouldn't use the pods, which would make the full use of all of that space. I could probably fit a t-shirt down there. Down here, I will be putting my shoes, tracksuit pants in a waterproof bag of some sort, my tyre irons, basically I'll just chuck them in there, and there's heaps of room. I like to keep it fairly low, because in the saddle, I like to have lots of room in the saddle. I like to be able to get my ass back low and far back, which is why even when I've got a light load, I still put most of it in here. That goes on the back there. That's out of the way. My ass isn't going to bang into that. And so I've got a slant there, lots of room in the saddle for any technical riding. there's not going to be a whole lot of technical writing on this this route. It's pretty easy, moderate sort of stuff, but still, I like to pack as if I was going to.